National League Week 2 on tap. We're headed to NorCal alongside SoCal. Another trophy for Max Irving and a great conversation with Paige Hauschild. She's back with Team USA. All next on a brand new counterattack. Hey everyone, Greg Mescall here. Thanks for joining us on the counterattack right here on Overnght and USA Water Polo. Great weekend of water polo coming up. The National League Week 2 action on the way. SoCal playing host, but also it's the debut of NorCal action here in the 2026 season. A reminder that all matches this weekend live right here on Overnght. Live stats available on 6-8 Sports. And coming off of a strong Week 1, squads like Mission, New York Athletic Club back in action. Take a look at the full schedule here. Again, you can also view this at usawaterpolo.org, but we're excited to get back in the pool with the NL, and here's a little something to get you hyped for this weekend.
I think it's great. Having some games in a kind of off-season kind of time is really nice. Starting to build as we move towards next college season. So it's nice to kind of see a league and almost like a professional league kind of start forming here in the United States. Really important. I think the bonds that you make here is what you'll see later when we're actually playing for national championship. But this is really important to us. Everything we do is like a game. I think it's just because we're able to have such an elite level of college and ex-players come back, and it's just really cool to see that even after like one season, they're able to kind of find the motivation to come back here. It's really fun to see.
Let's stick with men's water polo, and throughout much of the international season at usawaterpolo.org, we publish a water polo passport recap just about every Monday, taking a look at what our Team USA athletes on the men's and women's side are doing as they play for clubs abroad. And no bigger result than what Max Irving pulled off this past weekend. 3 goals in a critical win over Savona to help his club, Pro Recco, take home the Coppa Italia. Congratulations to Max. More images shared here. So once again, congrats to Max, and don't forget, check in on the rest of Team USA competing in Europe. They are doing things at a high level. It's only making Team USA better when they all come back as one to compete on the international stage. Check out our Instagram account at USAWP. Also, the 2 team Instagram accounts as well for the Team USA men and women, often resharing photos, live stream information, final score results, etc. Now let's turn to women's college water polo. We're right in the thick of things here. Busy weekend this past weekend, a lot of games right here on Overnght. Easily the game of the week when it came down to the very end. Let's check out the results from San Jose State and Marist. This went to golden goal overtime. Here's the game winner for the Spartans.
Shot clock dark for San Jose State. They can win it here. Spartans in transition. Going cross pool for the win! San Jose State, the Spartan savior! Who else but Darcy Spark? You get another look at it. Darcy Spark, one of the All-Americans that we talked about incessantly, wins it.
Now on to our college scoreboard. These are all the results in the top matches from the Barbara Calbus Invitational. Unfortunately, no video, but these results help shape the latest polls and also help set the table for some critical matches coming later in the season. So Stanford knocks off UCLA 8-7 in the title bout. This was an advancement event this year. In third place, USC, 3 goals better than Cal. Then in your semifinals, UCLA over USC 10-9. Stanford doubles up the Cal Bears 14-7 this weekend in Berkeley. Cal playing host to UCLA. That's right here on Overnght as well, so that'll be a good one too. Now time for our big conversation. This is a good one. Team USA fans, they know the name Paige Hauschild. She was part of the dynasty there for the Team USA Women World Championships, Olympic gold in Tokyo, finished her career at USC after winning gold in Tokyo, had a great run with the Women of Troy, NCAA champ, Catino Award finalist, All-American, but after that decided to leave water polo behind. Got a real job, only played a little bit of water polo with the Olympic club and was content doing other things, and then got a very important call from her old Trojan teammate Tilly Kearns about an adventure in Spain to come play club water polo, and That unraveled this whole new adventure. Long story short, Paige is back with Team USA. We caught up with Paige last week to talk about her adventure, why she's back with Team USA, what led her to step away from water polo, and why she's found her way back. Take a look. Our latest big conversation here on the show, a familiar face has returned. Paige Hauschild back in water polo. Paige, how are you?
I'm doing great, Greg. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you back. You're joining us from Spain right now. You just signed on to play some club water polo alongside Jewel Romer. We have a lot to unpack, but I guess first to start there, how's life in Spain? What's it been like to jump into a pro season here?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot really fast. So I've been here for just over 3 weeks now. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to say that too. Like 3 weeks feels like it's flown by because starting with the team pretty much mid-season. So kind of had to get up to speed quickly. And yeah, so things have been busy, but it's been good. I love my team. Everyone's been so welcoming and helped me kind of get my feet underneath me. So yeah, and it's great, like you said, having Jewel here. And also 2 of my former teammates from USC are on the team as well. So it feels very comfortable and they've all been super helpful, helping me get acclimated to life here. But yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, Tilly Kearns on your team as well. USC fans will remember. So let's kind of back it up. I think obviously people see your name pop up and they're like, of course, Paige, USC, Team USA, right? You had this pretty epic run, right? Really strong college career. Go to Tokyo, kind of live through that postponement of the games and the pandemic, gold medal, finish at USC, and then kind of take us through what's next, right? Because then after that time, you weren't playing with Team USA anymore. So what kind of happened in that time, and what led you to step away from water polo after you were done at USC?
Yeah, kind of a loaded question. I feel like I could talk about this for a long time because there was a lot of factors that played into me just deciding to step away ultimately. But I think for me, I still had 2 more years at USC after Tokyo. So after I finished at Tokyo, I went into my junior year of school at USC, did a lot of reflecting. And I think everyone knows like the mental side of the game is just as important as the physical. I know what everyone talks about most is the physical side of things. And, just that's the nature of sport. But I think for me, when I was reflecting a bit after Tokyo and thinking about starting training for Paris, I don't think my heart was really in it, just to be quite honest. And the more I thought about training for Paris, it just didn't sound like something I wanted to do. And especially on every team I've been on, but especially on Team USA, we do so much reflecting and thinking on like finding your purpose on your team. And so finding your why and your reason for being there and wanting to be a part of Team USA. And that was really easy for me during the Tokyo quad. I wanted it so badly. And even on the hardest days, I would always go back to why I wanted to be there. And that would help get me through the toughest battles and the toughest days of training. And you just really need that desire to be there because it's a grueling process. And when I was thinking about training for Paris, I didn't have that same passion or desire that I did before Tokyo. And for me, that was pretty telling. It's hard to go through a process like that if you're not 110% in it. And I just felt like my heart wasn't in it. And that wouldn't be fair for me to put myself through that, put my teammates, the program. Like if I can't give my 110%, that's not fair to not only myself, but so many other people. So ultimately decided to take an internship after it was the summer of after my junior year of school. That again led to me getting a job after my senior year. And just like I said at the time, that's the thought of pursuing that career path and learning something new and challenging myself in new ways was really exciting. And on the contrary, I didn't know if I wanted to play water polo. So for me, that was pretty telling. I just wanted to finish out those 2 years at USC, graduated, took a job, moved up to San Francisco for that. And then, yeah, ultimately decided that would be the end of my water polo career. That was a long-winded one. I don't know if that was kind of all over the place.
I think that's what people were wondering, right? So it takes you
Yeah.
kind of A to Z through kind of your thought process. That is a tough choice, and I imagine either people said these things to you, or you had these thoughts of, I'm on the greatest team that ever existed, and we just won another gold medal. How
Yeah,
could I possibly not keep going with this?
for sure. Yeah.
I'm young. I'm still really good at this. How can I not keep going with this? I have this college setup, which I think a lot of people love, that kind of runway of come back to school after the Olympics. That for so many, I think, softens the like Olympic hangover.
Yeah.
The cushion of school and play.
Totally.
And then really the timing was nice, right? 2 seasons and then right back into maybe a more grueling schedule. I say all those things to ask how hard is it to know all those things and say, you know what? No, I have to do what's best for me.
Yeah. It was very hard. I think when I thought about my next 5 years or next 10 years, when I was in college, it was always to go for Tokyo, to go to Paris, and then maybe LA, like reassess when we get there. But so in my head, that was always part of my plan. And I was the youngest person on our team in Tokyo. And I think everyone expected that of me. I expected that of myself. And so, yeah, like you said, also, I loved my team so much, still do, not past tense. I love them so much. And I had such a great experience before, like leading up to Tokyo. And like you said, we had such a talented team as well. Leaving with Olympic gold is a dream come true. So all of those things, like it was pretty crazy for me to think like, am I actually going to do this? Am I actually going to step away? And I just think, kind of touching again on what I mentioned at the beginning, I really wanted to put myself first, and this was definitely different than what I had planned, but I knew in the moment that that's what was going to be best for me, to take care of myself mentally and pursue something that I wanted. And just, yeah, at the time, that's what I needed, and that's what was best for me. So it definitely sucked to tell some people no. And I had that question come up all the time, like, what are you doing? And I was, like you said, I was very young when I stopped. And yeah, so I just had to stick to my guns. I think I was following my heart, and I knew that's what was right for me. And I think those who care about you most and those who know you the best will always support what's best for you. So I think definitely some people were like looking at me a little crazy. But I was very happy with that decision. And ultimately, looking back now that I'm playing water polo again, maybe I'm jumping the gun here a bit when it comes to your questions, but I don't think I would be here playing water polo today and being in the situation I'm in if I didn't do that for myself at that time. And frankly, this was never part of the agenda. I didn't stop thinking I was coming back. I stopped thinking I was done for good. But obviously, life's got a crazy way of, taking you down a wild journey. So this wasn't what I was expecting, but I think because I listened to myself then, ultimately it allowed me to be here today. And so I'm super happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like some really important internal work done there to kind of figure out how you're actually feeling. And
yeah,
you're right. You get that question a lot. I think even those that love you the most are so excited for this like dream that you've been talking about. It's like hard for them to let it go the same way that it is for you to let it go,
sure.
but also differently, So, which is tough to process, right? Like people want you to be happy, but they're also like, man, we all wanted this for you. Sometimes
totally
you can't want something more for someone than they want it for themselves.
Yeah. And I think especially for me and my family, like Tokyo, we couldn't have fans there. And so all my closest friends and family weren't able to be there to watch me, live out my Olympic dreams in person. So for them and then when I told them like I was no longer, or they were there through the whole process and talking it out and whatnot. But once I think I came to that conclusion that I didn't want to play anymore, I think that was definitely, like you said, a bummer for them. But like, I also mentioned, like, they wanted what was best for me, but it's hard not to feel like you're letting people down. But again, I just think you got to do what's best for yourself. And yeah, it's not always easy, but it'll always lead you to the right path, in my opinion. So, yeah.
And even being, because you were how old when you graduated USC, when you were done there?
23.
23, right? So I think even people look at that and say, man, only 23, but the water polo grind you were on since what, like 12? I mean, you taught like club and then, the national team kind of climbing those ranks. Like, you've been busy in water polo for a long time. And so even though I think age-wise, it's young, there's like a lot of miles, right? Have swum and all that sort of stuff. So that's, I think, also something that people don't always realize. You finish, you take a job. What's it like to completely step out of sports at a very high level and just be someone in the office?
It's super weird. I was like, it can't be that weird. Like, I don't know. It was really weird. Like you mentioned, I've been playing water polo for as long as I can remember, honestly. And I've had my schedule handed to me, like every single day I had mapped out for me. Like, someone said, this is where you're going to be on these dates. This is, here's your flight info or housing. You're going to be living here. Everything I, like, down to the minutes of my day had been something that was always scheduled for me. And so just to have so much, I just, like, so much agency to decide what I wanted to do. And it was weird. But frankly, it was great. I do think, habits and, things just that you learn through sport and growing up that way obviously carried into my day-to-day, as just a corporate girl. But yeah, it was definitely crazy just to have so much free time. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to work out today if I don't want to. Like, that was different. I'm like, I'll go for a walk. Like, what a concept. So yeah, it was different. A lot of positives from it, but also some things I missed for sure. So yeah.
How often did your sports resume come up? Like, could you escape being Olympic gold medalist Paige Hauschild, or would someone just casually drop that into a conversation at work every now and again? And you'd have to be like, well, yeah, I actually did all these things.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I didn't bring it up unless someone asked. And
you weren't just going around like, excuse me, let me stop and just
no.
about Tokyo.
And it's funny because people would say, oh, why did you never tell me? I'm like, we met like last week. What am I supposed to, like, nice to meet you. I'm an Olympic gold medalist. Like, okay. No, yeah. So, yeah, I honestly, a lot of people in my office didn't know for a long time. And then obviously people who I worked very closely with did. But then it was it was during the Paris Olympics. I think it was during the Paris Olympics. They found out that I went to the Olympics, like some higher up people. And so then they had me bring my medal, and I spoke, and we had one of the girls' games in Paris that was up playing in the lobby of our office, which was really cool. But yeah, some people knew, some people didn't. It wasn't something I led with when making new friends. So yeah, it was sometimes obviously part of the conversation, but yeah.
What was it like to watch the Paris Games, and did what you saw there impact what you're doing now at all?
Yeah, it was bittersweet for sure, because obviously it's hard just to flip a switch and, not have that competitive fire anymore. Like, it's not just something that goes away. And so watching all my friends out there, of course, part of me like wants to be there, or I don't know. But I think I was obviously at that time, I was very content where I was at. So it was just frankly fun to watch my friends compete. And I talked to so many of them leading up to the Paris Olympics like all the time. So it was really fun just to follow along with their journey before Paris. And I'm so nosy, and I was like, okay, well, what was training like today? Like, how's Adam being? Is he in a good mood or a bad mood today? Like, I wanted to know all the details. So I was very invested, and like I said, bittersweet watching because it was so fun, and I know how hard that they worked to get there. But like bitter in the sense that like part of me was like, oh, I'd love to be there with my friends, but it was fun to watch. Yeah, well, no, obviously always, whether I was on the team or not, and even before in previous games before Tokyo, like watching Team USA was always something that's been super fun for me. So, yeah.
So now fast forward, getting back in the pool with Team USA recently over the last few months, and now playing club. I want to go back to there has to be a specific moment in the last, I don't know, year or year and a half, whenever it was. What was like the first kernel of the idea that I might want to do this again? When did that hit you?
Yeah. It was actually, it's kind of funny. So I got a phone call from Tilly Kearns, and I was working from home at the time, just sitting at my little desk in my house, and Tilly called me, which we do often, so I didn't think anything of it. She was like, so I have a proposal for you, and ended up saying that there was a spot on their team here, and asked if I would be interested. And I just immediately like laughed. It's like, I haven't played water polo in like 2 years now, and I have a job and an apartment, like all these things, and basically every excuse or reason as to why I shouldn't do it immediately popped into my head. And then we hung up, and she was like, just think about it. And I just laughed. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then the rest of the day, I like really couldn't focus on work. And then I ended up talking to a lot of people who I'm close to about the idea. And at this time it was strictly just playing in Spain. And for me, it's like you mentioned, Jewel is here, and Mireia and Tilly are two of my best friends from USC. And I'd get to live with all three of them and play with them again in Spain. Like, it was just the perfect setup. And so I was talking to family and friends and people about their thoughts, and every single person was like, why wouldn't you? Like, when are you ever going to have the chance to live in Spain with some of your best friends ever again? And the more I thought about it, I was like, that's so true. And so I ultimately decided that was what I was going to do. And so I had like 2 months at the time to get back into shape before coming here in January. Maybe 3 months roughly. But yeah, so started playing water polo again. Ryan Neuschel was in Santa Barbara at the time, so her and I were training a ton together. And her sisters as well, all the Neuschels, Cammie Craig. We had a little crew going where we were playing water polo together. And I just found myself having fun again. And I think, like I mentioned, that was something I definitely lost for a while after Tokyo, and part of the reason I stepped away. And the more I was playing with the idea of, national team stuff. And it's something that had crossed my mind before. Adam and I would talk here and there. So it's something that I had considered, but didn't really think was ever going to happen. But then once I was playing again to come here to Spain, then I was like, maybe I could do it. And it happened all kind of quickly. I mean, obviously it's something I thought a ton about. Like, it's not a decision I made lightly. But frankly, like, the thought of being back, like, it was really exciting, and I'm happy, that I'm super thankful, first and foremost, that Adam and the team was willing to give me that opportunity to come back. But yeah, I thought, why not? And talked to Ryan a bunch and some other people as well. And so it started as just an idea of coming here to Spain to live in Spain and play with friends. And then it evolved to hopefully going for LA 2028.
So Team USA fans have Tilly to thank. That's the reason. This
I guess. Oh no, it's gonna go straight to her head.
It's gonna be a new vlog she puts out on how she.
I know.
But there's something to just kind of a thread to pull on there. She knows a lot of people. She could have called a lot of people to say like, "Hey, we have a spot on my team." You know, like your friend thought that there was something left in the tank for you. I imagine. Have you talked to her about that? About like, why me as opposed to why not, 50 of the other talented women you might know?
Well, frankly, I think they reached out to some other people first. And they were like, well, no one said yes. Maybe Paige will come
Cross
back.
off the list.
I don't think I was the first phone call, Greg, to be honest.
They're like, right? Does someone have Paige's number still? Is she?
Yeah, literally. I was like, who? Oh, no. Yeah, that's funny. I don't really know why. I mean, I think she's a good friend of mine, obviously. And I went on a trip with her to coach water polo in Zimbabwe this summer. And like, we had such a great time there. And so I think when I was there, that being back in the water polo community as well kind of helped ignite that spark for me. And I think she saw that a bit. At the time, it wasn't so much for playing again. It was just like being around the pool deck more, whether that was coaching or, whatever. And so, yeah, that was really fun. And I think she knew that I felt that way. I don't know why she called me. She probably just wanted to hang out together. I don't know. She was like, I don't think it was because of my water polo abilities. I told them, I was like, you guys, it's been 2 years. Like I was not in good water polo shape. So
that's like my next question, right? So you kind of get back out there, you're training in Santa Barbara. You kind of do this assessment of like where you're at skill wise. I think so many people have talked about water polo. You can't be halfway in it. And it's a hard sport to play if you haven't been doing it at some level. There's so many much older retired Olympians that won't do masters because like it's either the way that it was or not at all, and it's hard to have that in between. So as you're kind of in the pool and you're like starting to get the feel back, what's the thing where you're like, oof, like this is the thing I need to like dial in first. That's not where it needs to be.
All of it. All of it, Greg. No, I just think definitely swimming first was a big thing. I would play here and there with O Club when I was in San Francisco, but definitely not enough to feel like I was in really good water polo shape. But yeah, I think once I just started swimming again, that was kind of where I started. Before I even picked up a ball, I was just doing swim sets, and that was step number one. And once I felt as though I had made some progress there, that's when I started, actually playing more and shooting and all of that. And it was it felt so foreign at first. Like water polo's, like you said, a sport that like you got to keep up with if, or else you lose it quick. And I had a hard time at first, like, just, I guess, coping with the fact that like so many of these things that used to be so easy for me were all of a sudden very difficult. But it came back quickly. To be honest, I was surprised at how quickly things started to come back. It's just muscle memory, I guess, from like decades of water polo prior. So that was exciting, but it was definitely, I remember Tim, our strength coach on Team USA, was the first person who, because one of my next steps was, okay, I need to start lifting again. And he was one of the first people that was like, okay, you need to, take a step back, like hit the brakes a little bit, because of course you don't want to get injured. And first, when I was thinking about things I should do to get back into shape, my head just goes to what I was doing when I was at USC or when I was with the national team, but it's not something that's possible when you haven't played for 2 years. So we had a good conversation, and it's easy to want to rush back into things and get back to where you were. But just reminding myself that like it will come, and I'm still very much getting back to where I want to be. So it's a journey, and I've had to learn patience, and yeah, there's a lot of lessons that have kind of come in this short period of time already. So yeah, I'm just taking it day by day.
And then to come back to Team USA, what does that conversation with Adam look like? How do you go about saying, hey, I know we've talked, and like now I'm ready to do this?
Yeah. I sent him, we had a really long phone call. It was like the first things first, and then he ended up coming to Santa Barbara, and we had a conversation about it. But yeah, I just told him where I was at, and as I mentioned before, it's something that him and I had tossed around before, but typically in like a more of a joking manner. So it wasn't something I was like seriously considering. So I think he was definitely surprised to hear that things had changed for me. But I was just honest with him about where I was at. And even when I stepped away, I was honest with him then about why. And he always respected that. And has always been a person who wanted what was best for me. Obviously, he wants what's best for the team, and but he cares about all of us individually as well. I think more than anything, honestly. So he was always a big supporter of me stepping away, and luckily of me coming back as well. So I was just honest and said where I was at, and luckily it worked out. He said he was willing to let me back, so it worked out.
Sure, he made like a bunch of terrible jokes that didn't land, and then he said you come back on the team. So
yeah, yeah.
So you're back in the mix now, playing club, and I know this has been a long talk, so I appreciate you kind of sharing your journey. But
yeah, of course.
You described at the top all the reasons why you stopped playing, and and the weight of the grind, and just all the emotion that played into that. How do you make sure it's different this time? How do you make sure that when you go back into right now it's club and it's lighter, right? But you know that if you want to do the LA thing, in 2027, right, you're going to be in that intense double days, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
How do you set yourself up for success to make sure that it is everything you need it to be this time around? And I don't mean anything to do with results.
Yeah, of course. I think me taking those 2 years off, that when I was working, and that really helped me kind of gain new perspective on it all, frankly. I think my first go around, I was very scared, and I don't know. I think I was focusing a lot of times on the wrong things and prioritizing the wrong things. And I know that's vague, but I think for me, this go around, having my time away helped me realize what I missed and what I took for granted when I was in this process. And I think being able to just see things in a different light and have, approach things with more gratitude will definitely help, and just shift your mindset on things. And just like I said, little things that you take for granted, just being with the team and having the opportunity to travel and compete, and those things that when you're in it feel like such a chore. I think once it's gone, you realize how special it really is. And so I just think kind of that shift in perspective will help throughout my journey. Just looking at things with some gratitude, and just feeling really lucky to have this opportunity again and to be doing something that I love it's really special.
Two more for you. The people that were stunned when you stepped away and were like, oh man, what's been their reaction when you've been able to tell them, like, guess what? Like, I'm back in.
Oh, everyone I've talked to has been super supportive. A lot of people were like, oh, some people were like, honestly, like, I was hoping that this day would come. Like, we were so bummed when, some people's true reactions or honest thoughts came out that maybe I didn't hear before.
I'm angry at you, Paige, now.
Yeah. So yeah, that was funny. But frankly, I've just been met with so much support and excitement. So yeah, I mean, that's all I could hope for.
And then I always, if the topic applies, I think ask our guests here, like if there's some advice they could share with someone else. And I think this has been like a water polo story wrapped in really someone prioritizing like their mental health and well-being, right? And you doing what's best for you. So if there's someone out there that feels like this is all like too heavy for them, or they need to make a change, I guess, like what do you share with people, and what have you learned in how to do what's best for you and know that it's going to be okay on the other side?
Yeah, I think it's scary to, take any kind of leap, whether that's starting something new, changing whatever plans people had for you or whatever plans you had for yourself. Like, it's always scary. And I think that you know yourself better than anyone else does. And really just going with your gut and following your heart. And I know there's a quote that's like, I'm going to butcher it, but something about like, it doesn't have to make sense to other people if it makes sense to you, something along those lines. But I think it's so true. Like, I think a lot of people were confused when I stepped away, and others were also confused when I came back. But frankly, I know my journey hasn't really looked perfect, but it's what was perfect for me. And I just look at all the things that I get to do now and things that I got to do when I stepped away. And I'm so proud of myself for putting myself first. It's a scary thing to do. And I would just encourage anyone who's, no matter what that gut feeling is, just following it and always putting yourself first and doing what's best for you. Because at the end of the day, it's always going to lead you down the right path. Yeah. And it doesn't have to always be pretty. It doesn't have to look perfect. My journey hasn't, and yeah, but it's perfect for me. So I think always following your heart will always lead you in the right direction.
That's great stuff. Paige, appreciate the time. Glad to have you back, and
thanks, Greg.
Your love and life in Spain, and looking forward to seeing you back with Team USA soon as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Greg.
And once again, thanks to Paige for joining us. Excited to see her back with Team USA this summer. Now on to our Malmsteen goal of the week. We told you at the top it'd be Max Irving, and it is. Check out this absolute beautiful shot from Irving playing for Pro Recco, Coppa Italia. This one through a whole host of defenders and in. That's shared on the Pro Recco Instagram account. That is just what Max Irving does. Don't forget, if you've got a great goal, a goalie save, something else exciting, share it with us, DM at USAWP. Send it to Overnght. We'd love to share what you're seeing out there when it comes to great water polo highlights. Upcoming calendar, what's on tap? We know we've got more National League this weekend. You've got some critical ODP events coming up, evaluation at the end of this month, and then our national championships for the boys and girls coming up in March, along with more National League play. That is going to do it for this week's episode of The Counterattack. Thanks so much for joining us. And don't forget, when you're on the counterattack, look weak side.